Imagine a man walking across a quiet mountain slope, the sun high above, the air crisp and clear. He is tending his father-in-law's sheep, not thinking about history or destiny. He is thinking about lunch perhaps, or which path leads to water. But soon, everything will change. This man is Moses. Moses was born in a time of turmoil. The Israelites, his people, were living in Egypt. Once free, now enslaved. Bound by labor, fear, and oppression. The Pharaoh demanded their work, their energy, and their lives, shaping them into a people who lived under the shadow of tyranny. Moses' early life was unusual. He was born at a time when Pharaoh had ordered the death of all Hebrew baby boys. His mother, desperate and clever, hid him. When she could hide him no longer, she placed him in a basket and sent him down the Nile. By a remarkable turn of fate, Pharaoh's daughter found him and raised him as her own. So Moses grew up in Pharaoh's palace, educated in the ways of Egypt, wearing fine clothing and learning strategy, language, and law. But he never forgot who he was. He never forgot the people who were suffering under the weight of Egyptian oppression. One day, Moses witnessed a shocking act. He saw an Egyptian taskmaster beating a Hebrew slave. Without thinking, Moses intervened. He killed the Egyptian. That action forced him to flee. Suddenly, the world he knew, the palace, the title, the luxury was gone. He became a fugitive in the desert of Midian. It was a strange and lonely place. He was far from family, far from familiarity. He lived as a shepherd, learning the rhythm of the land, the patience of tending sheep, and perhaps the quiet reflection that comes with solitude. Years passed. Moses' life became ordinary, or so it seemed. He married Zipporah, had children, and led a simple life. But destiny often hides in plain sight, in the mundane, waiting for a single spark. And that spark came in the form of something extraordinary. One day, while tending his flock near Mount Horeb, Moses noticed something unusual. A bush was on fire. Flames danced, crackled, and glowed. But the bush was not consumed. It did not burn away. Imagine that for a moment. A bush ablaze yet untouched, bright and vivid, demanding attention in the quiet desert. Moses stopped in his tracks. Curiosity pulled him closer. And then, in a voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, he heard a call. "Take off your sandals," said the voice. "You are standing on holy ground." It was God. The encounter was simple yet profound. God spoke directly to Moses, not as an emperor, not as a priest, but as a shepherd. A man who had fled, who thought his life was ordinary, was being called to something extraordinary. The message was clear. Moses had been chosen for a mission. To free the Israelites. To confront Pharaoh. To lead a people who had endured generations of oppression. But Moses did not respond with courage. He responded with hesitation, questions, and excuses. "I am not a man of words," he said. "I am not important. I am not ready. Who am I to do this?" God answered patiently, with promises and guidance. He revealed that he would be with Moses. He reassured him that the task would not depend on Moses' own strength, but on divine power. Moses' reaction is familiar. We hesitate when we are called to more than we think we can handle. We question our ability, our readiness, our worthiness. And yet the call persists, patient and insistent. But this is just the beginning. Because a mission like this comes with challenges Moses could not yet imagine. A confrontation with Pharaoh. A confrontation with fear, doubt, and even his own family. And as Moses leaned closer to the burning bush, listening, wondering, he had no idea that his life and the life of his people was about to change forever. So Moses stands before the bush, the fire flickering in the desert wind, and he hears the words again. "Go, Moses. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people out of Egypt." It's a command, but it's also a promise. Moses hesitated. He had spent years learning patience, solitude, and humility. How could he confront Pharaoh? A ruler whose power extended across nations, armies, and wealth. God anticipated these fears. He provided signs, miracles that would demonstrate divine authority. A staff would become a snake. A hand would become leprous and then healed. Water would turn to blood. Even so, Moses argued, "I am not eloquent. I am slow of speech. Send someone else." he said. And God, with subtle humor and firm reassurance, answered, I will help you speak. I will guide your words. You are the one I have chosen. This exchange shows a key principle. Being called does not mean being perfect. It means trusting the power beyond yourself. Moses returned to Egypt, staff in hand, mind still swirling with doubt. He encountered his brother Aaron, who would become his spokesperson and companion. Together, they faced Pharaoh, the ruler who thought himself untouchable. The confrontation was dramatic. Pharaoh refused, hardened his heart, and demanded more labor from the Israelites. Yet Moses persisted. With signs and wonders, he demonstrated that this mission was not his alone. It was guided by a power that could not be ignored. The Egyptians witnessed extraordinary events, water turning to blood, frogs filling homes, and countless plagues that tested their resilience and morality. Each miracle was both warning and proof. And yet, Pharaoh resisted. Meanwhile, Moses had to navigate more than just royal obstinacy. He dealt with the frustrations, doubts, and fears of the very people he was trying to free. Leadership is never simple. Even those who are called for greatness must face the human side of their mission. And still, there was wonder in it all. The simple shepherd had become the chosen deliverer. A man once hiding in the desert now moved mountains metaphorically and literally. And every step, every miracle, was a testament to the idea that ordinary people can be instruments of extraordinary change. But even miracles have limits. Even divine missions carry suspense. Because Pharaoh's stubbornness threatened not only the mission, but also the lives of the Israelites. And Moses, despite his growing confidence, still did not fully know how this journey would end. The tension builds. The final act is approaching, and the world is holding its breath, waiting to see whether a people enslaved for generations can truly be freed by a man who once tended sheep. The day arrived when Pharaoh finally relented. The Israelites were free to leave Egypt, to escape the labor, oppression, and fear that had defined their lives for centuries. But freedom is never simple. Pharaoh changed his mind. Armies pursued them, chasing them to the edge of the Red Sea. Moses, staff in hand, stood at the shore, watching the impossible. And then the extraordinary happened. The waters parted. The people crossed on dry ground. The army that had pursued them was swallowed by the returning waters. It was a dramatic, vivid demonstration that the call Moses received at the burning bush was not a metaphor. It was real, and it worked. Moses went on to lead the Israelites through the wilderness, guiding them toward the promised land. He confronted challenges that tested patience, faith, and leadership. But the memory of the burning bush, the moment he heard the divine call, remained with him. This story teaches more than historical fact. It teaches about the nature of calling. Being called does not mean being perfect. It does not mean being ready or fearless. It means stepping forward when the moment arrives, trusting that you are not alone. Moses went from shepherd to deliverer, ordinary man to legendary leader. All because he noticed a bush that burned but did not consume. All because he listened when the call came. And the story continues to resonate. We see ourselves in Moses' hesitations, his doubts, and ultimately, his courage. We are reminded that extraordinary things often begin in ordinary moments. A spark, a question, a step forward. The burning bush remains a symbol of calling, of purpose, and of the extraordinary potential hidden in everyday life. It reminds us that no matter our doubts, fears, or past mistakes, there is a moment when we are asked to step forward. And if we do, the results can be transformative not just for us, but for everyone around us. So the next time you encounter something remarkable, something that draws your attention and curiosity, consider this. It might be your own burning bush. And the question is not whether you are ready. The question is whether you will answer the call.